Tomorrow morning, when you wake up and get in your car, the road you have driven 1,000 times will have changed overnight. New rules, new cameras, new fines. And if you do not know exactly what is different, you could be hit with an instant penalty before you even reach your first exit. No warning, no grace period. Just a fine landing in your mailbox or directly on your phone. This is not a rumor. This is not something that might happen down the road. It starts tomorrow, and the number of drivers who have absolutely no idea is staggering. Welcome to William A. U.S. Pension and Benefits, your trusted source for information that actually affects your daily life and your wallet. Today, we are breaking down everything you need to know about the new I-95 highway rules that take effect tomorrow, what they mean for you, how much these fines can cost, and most importantly, how to make sure you are not one of the millions caught off guard. Let us start with why this is happening. The I-95 corridor is one of the most heavily traveled highways in the entire United States, stretching nearly 2,000 miles from Miami all the way up to the Canadian border. For years, traffic authorities, state transportation departments, and federal safety agencies have been studying patterns of accidents, congestion, and violations along this route. What they found led to a sweeping update of the rules governing how drivers must behave on this highway. The changes were approved months ago, the public notices were issued, but the reality is that most everyday drivers never saw those notices. And that is exactly the problem. So what has actually changed? The first and most significant change involves speed enforcement. New fixed cameras and mobile enforcement units have been deployed at intervals along high-risk sections of the I-95. These are not traditional speed traps where a police officer has to be physically present. These are automated systems that photograph your license plate, calculate your speed over a measured distance, and issue a fine with no human interaction required. You will not see flashing lights behind you. You will not be pulled over. You will simply receive a notice, and the fine will already be issued. In many states along the I-95, these fines start at $150 for minor speed violations and escalate significantly for anything more serious. The second major change involves lane discipline, specifically around trucks and heavy vehicles. New signage and electronic warnings now enforce stricter rules about which lanes certain vehicle classes can occupy and for how long. Passenger vehicles lingering in the left lane without actively overtaking can now be cited. Truck drivers failing to return to the right lane after passing face heavier penalties than before. This was always technically the rule, but enforcement was inconsistent. That inconsistency ends tomorrow. The third change is something that will catch a huge number of people off guard, and that is the updated rules around mobile phone use and distracted driving detection. The new enforcement technology deployed along the I-95 includes sensors and camera systems capable of detecting phone use at the wheel. These systems have been piloted in other countries for years and are now being rolled out on American highways for the first time on a significant scale. Fines for detected phone use while driving can exceed $250 in the first instance, and repeat offenses can trigger license demerit points automatically. Now here is something that very few media outlets are talking about, and it directly relates to what we cover every day on this channel. If you are a retiree, a senior driver, or someone receiving government benefits, these fines do not just sting financially, they can create a cascade of problems. A significant fine can affect your monthly budget if you are living on a fixed pension or Social Security income. If fines go unpaid, they can become debts that are referred to collection agencies, and in some cases, those debts can interact with your benefits in ways that are not immediately obvious. Your tax return, your benefit payments, and even your eligibility for certain assistance programs can all be affected if financial penalties pile up and go unresolved. So what do you do right now? The first thing is to check which sections of the I-95 you regularly drive and look up your specific state's transport authority website for the updated guidelines. Each state along the I-95 has implemented the new rules slightly differently, in terms of fine amounts and specific zones of enforcement. Knowing your stretch of road matters. The second thing is to do a quick check of your vehicle. Make sure your registration is current, your lights are functioning correctly, and your tires are at the legal limit. Enforcement operations often run simultaneously with increased roadside checks, and an automated fine for a speed violation is painful enough without adding a vehicle defect notice on top of it. The third thing, and this is especially important for older drivers or anyone not fully up to date with digital processes, is to make sure you know how to respond if a fine notice arrives. Most states now issue electronic notices via registered mail or email. There are deadlines for responding, and ignoring a notice does not make it go away. It makes it larger. At William A. U.S. Pension and Benefits, we are here because the systems that are supposed to protect you often leave you to figure things out on your own. Roads change, rules change. Fines land without warning. And the people who get hit hardest are often the ones who were never given the information they needed in the first place. If this video helped you today, please subscribe to the channel so you never miss an update that could save you money or protect your rights. Share this with someone who drives the I-95 regularly, because they may not know what is starting tomorrow. And drop a comment below telling us which state you are driving in, so we can make sure our next video covers the specific rules in your area. Stay safe, stay informed, and we will see you in the next one.